What's up, YouTube, Rumble, Stock Twits, Twitter, and Discord? Been covering AMC as part of my stock coverage for the last few weeks, ever since the reverse split was announced. Um, Picked up 200 shares of APE today. Should probably pick up a heck of a lot more, being that at current price, 755 divided by 1.84, since there's 1.84 APE for every one AMC. The current value is actually $4.10 at this price. So for $4.10, I'm getting it at half off. When the reverse split happens, they become AMC. They have a combined share price. That's technically what APE is worth. So I don't know why everyone is rushing to sell their APE. You've got, certain YouTubers who are YouTubers. They're not traders. Maybe they're not giving you the best information. I know Tony De Niro, he gives it pretty straight to you guys, good and bad. He leans optimistic though, okay, with the stock. I'm whatever. We had our time in the sun and now we have to trade it based on what's happening. And most stocks sadly do not go up on a reverse split. There might be a little bit of squeezing, which is, you've basically seen it. The stock is up 100% almost in 3 weeks. It was like it was high fours. So it was like $5. Now, peaked over 8. So 70-80%, let's call it. Okay. It's just in a matter of a couple weeks. And that's a bit of a squeeze for a stock that has, 1.5 billion shares when you combine APE. What I think is going to happen into the after hours here is it's going to trade probably in a little bit up. It's holding right now, but I think it actually goes up. Typically, what we see into earnings is we see it go up a little bit in the after hours. People get excited, stocks, they start buying it, thinking that there's going to be good news, and then Adam Aaron speaks, and it immediately falls. So I did pick up puts into close. I bought APE, but I also bought puts. That's literally a conflicting position. I'm saying APE is going to go up, and I'm saying AMC is going to go down. That's trading, guys. It's just they've had 13 straight quarters of reporting losses, and they're expected to report another EPS loss. It's supposed to be better than before. Avatar's going to help. As you can see, it's now rising, like I had said, starting to move green here. Avatar 2, second highest grossing movie of all time, if I'm not mistaken, second or third. Don't really follow it because it's Wokatar. I don't really care. I would never pay money to be, brainwashed myself by BS and garbage. But whatever. If other people like it, cool, good for them. Sadly, Top Gun 2, it was the same thing back in their last quarter earnings. It did not do anything for them. It didn't get them over the hump. This won't either. The fact is, it's not a profitable business model. That and they're just not capitalizing on what people want from the company. No major restaurants that have branded with AMC are inside AMC, like AMC theaters with restaurants where you can get restaurant quality food to watch your movie with instead of popcorn. I get it, Adam. Popcorn has a massive margin, no pun intended. He probably says it's got a massive butter for profits, but it has a massive margarine for profits. uh, because it's a bunch of seeds and you pop it with some heat, add some salt and some fake butter or real butter, which you charge for anyways, and you're making a bunch of money. But really, I don't know about you. When I'm sitting at home, I might enjoy actual food before my movie or some nice dessert. I'm like, they don't even really have desserts, I've noticed. It's not like you can get a piece of Black Forest cake there. Or, I don't know about you guys. My theater's like, you want an ice cream cone. Can't get an ice cream cone. Why can't I have an ice cream cone while I watch a movie? Freaking popsicle. Trying to tell me you couldn't stock popsicles and sell $4 or $5 popsicles that you paid 60 cents for, 50 cents for? We're talking 900% profit margarines. And I'm going to keep saying margarine because it's a butter euphemism. Uh, for real though, there's so many ways they could actually become profitable, and he just hasn't really pursued any of them. Share buyback. You're selling stock, guys. You're selling stock in the teens and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. He's diluted all the way to 70, guys. And he's not buying it back when it's $4 and $5. What? Why? Because he's actually not. He doesn't have shareholder interest at heart. That's all a bunch of BS. I see through the BS now, guys. I used to cheer him on and say he's a chess player. Yeah, he's a chess player. He was playing all of us, but he has set it up perfectly for us to make some money here. Because you knew it was going to squeeze a little bit into earnings. You knew it was going to squeeze a little bit into reverse split because of the uncertainty factor. And anyone who's ever seen reverse splits and how they affect the stock, on the flip side, you know that it's certainly going to go down, and that when people aren't buying AMC at 72 with 100 million float, they aren't going to be buying AMC at 100 with 1.5 billion float. Prove me wrong. Put me on James Crowder, get me a little sign in front of my table that says people will not buy AMC at 100 with 1.5 billion shares, 15 times the float that it used to have. Prove me wrong, because they won't. So what am I getting at? Well, you buy puts all the way down, or literally short the stock at 100 a share, and then buy it close, and it will be free money. And you can kind of play this game with AMC at that point, okay? AMC, you write it down with the rest of the market, and then after about a fib retracement of 60%, so I'm thinking around that $40 mark, around the $40 mark, you're going to see, possibly another squeeze right back up to 50, $60, maybe, probably more like 50, and then it'll dead cat another 60% most likely. So that'll take you to what? 50, take you to $30, take you down to $30, and then squeeze up to 40, 50, let's call it 40, fib retrace 60%, 24, go to 35, 40. It's going to be a nice long, you're going to have another year of Lou and all of those YouTubers who are entertainment only. You're going to have another year or two of them. And then you're going to have another year or two of me, who is just literally calling it as I see it, as a stock play. We've reached a second green candle into after hours, which, I mean, this happens every earnings, guys. It's going to pop. Could it get to 8 again? I don't know. I hope not, because I'm riding some puts into the earnings. I hope it, stays below, say, 780. But, I mean, you can see it's starting to push. So, we're going to leave it at that. I wanted to get kind of a pre-earnings video out, so I have like a C. If it does what I said it does, I have like a see, told you so type situation. If I'm wrong and it keeps pumping, I own up to it, but I'm going to give 9-1 odds that I am absolutely right here. It pumps until he talks, and then the second he talks, that's it. That's all she wrote. Real quick, earlier in the day, you had some calls swept. $10 call. $10 calls were swept up going into the close. So someone is extremely bullish on AMC for $10 calls. Oh, and when were they for? Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, they were for April 21st, which would be post-split, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because there will be a whole new options chain created after the split. So you're going to have the pre-split options chain and the post-split options chain. So I'm not really sure. I guess they're planning on closing it out if earnings is good, if the stock goes up. And, I mean, look what's happening until it closes, guys. It's to a T every time. Why? I should have probably just bought shares that closed, knowing full well what would happen. But you never know with AMC. how they could just falling knife it out of nowhere and dark pool all buying volume. So I didn't want to take that risk. That's all. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope it made sense to you. Hope I didn't seem like too much of a DICK. Congrats to anyone who like call options on AMC, which is something I have been talking about for months. Getting calls and not getting shares if you're actually bullish, because this is how DFV became a millionaire. This is how trades made a bunch of money and then swapped to puts and told us all to hold while he shorted us and bought puts into oblivion. This is how you create the vast wealth gaps. Not through shares, not going from $6 to $7. Yep, that's a nice day. That ain't 25%. That's incredible. That is not. That's literally. This is literally 10x more than today. This one right here is what's that? 17x. 308% divide 25. Yeah, 1200% more. You would have made 1200% more money with this than buying shares and then selling it for an extra buck or whatever. Just something to think about for anyone who's perma bull on AMC. You might want to consider options. Kind of put your money where your mouth is type situation, and if it goes up, it really pays off. And if you aren't actually serious about it, or maybe you want to insure your position, you start buying puts to some degree, so that any day that it falls, you're making a ton of dough on the flip side of things, to lower your losses, to minimize the damage. Cheers.